Today's Action Research Project is an investigation on the impact of technology on student engagement in higher education. The aim is to investigate the current research and study on strategy to implement technology to support student learning. The main objective is to identify the challenges and ultimately to form a hypothesis on technology integration and implication on student engagement. The focus of this research is to determine the factors that will motivate students to engage in self-directed learning in virtual environment. Also to implement teaching strategy that will incorporate technology to engage students in the learning activities. Lastly is to find how to engage student engagement. Research methodology will be mixed method research, which include qualitative and quantitative data. 2 surveys will be included in the data collections. The first survey was the UWTSD research, which conducted on 52 undergraduate students from level 4 to level 6. A questionnaire include data such as student engagement and their perception of active learning strategy will be included. The second survey was conducted by Brunel University in London, which involved 500 students on the perception on using technology on self-directed learning. Study shows that student engagement can be measured from 3 different dimensions. Emotional engagement refers to student attitudes, their interest in learning, and how they value their learning. Cognitive engagement refers to the quality of the student's contribution during the learning activities and their ability to comprehend more difficult tasks, and also their problem-solving skill and their persistence in the learning activities. Behavior engagement refers to student interaction during the learning activities and how they participate in the learning activities. Using game-based technology in the learning activities encourage students to put in effort in the learning activities. In the behavior engagement, there was a huge improvement in student engagement. Students felt that it helps with their concentration and they can focus better in the learning task. In the emotional engagement, students enjoyed the learning activities. They felt that the task was very interesting and it helps to improve the sense of belonging as well. However, there's a small percentage of students that disagree with this learning strategy. Up to 18% of the students prefer the traditional learning activities. A questionnaire to determine factors that can have an impact on student engagement shows that up to 38% of the students feel that they cannot engage with the learning activities due to their language skill, as English is not their first language. A further 32% of students feel that they do not have the knowledge to engage with the learning due to their education qualification. 18% was due to personal problems, mainly financial difficulties such as debts. 12% of the students feel that they cannot engage with the learning activities as they're anxious about the age. The finding shows that although using technology can engage students with the learning activities, but there are other factors which can have a negative impact on their learning. The data here shows that even though 82% of students agree that they engage with the learning activities, but 64% of the students felt that they have learned the skills. So which shows that up to 18% of students who engage with the learning activities did not gain the skill as instructed, which can be due to language skill or the knowledge level which they cannot engage with the learning activities. The positive impact from the activity is the student emotional engagement, which shows that they feel that the task was very engaging and they enjoy in the learning activities. The area of concern is the problem-solving skill. More than half of the student feels that the problem-solving skill was not improved, and which shows that the skill and the learning that they learned is not applicable to the real-life environment? The data shows that student engagement is very complex, especially learning online in a virtual environment. A new dimension is being added, which is the social element. It can be measured from the external, which is the environment, or internally, which is the student interaction with others. Student emotional engagement can be easily affected by the surrounding and all their personal problems. Although student engagement can be detected, however, emotional engagement can only be monitored through observation during learning, through the attendance, facial expression, body posture, and the interaction during learning activities. It is more challenging in the online environment because students can access learning from different places. It can be in their own home, in the library, or anywhere in a public space. Access to learning is one of the key factors that must be considered in the teaching strategy. So how to motivate students to engage with learning activities, especially self-directed learning in a virtual environment? A survey conducted on factors that influence on students' behavior found that there are three factors that contribute to students' motivation. First is the performance expectancy, which is associated with student expectation from using technology. It will enhance their career prospect. Second is the efforts that require to engage with the learning activities using that piece of technology. Third is the habit of using software that they would normally use. So students will more likely to engage with self-directed learning using technology, and they will invest their effort and time in learning using technology if it will enhance their career prospect. The limitation of this research that it was conducted for online learning using interactive media such as chatbot. However, the result can offer guidelines on implementing technology in the classroom or self-directed learning. There are factors to consider such as the tasks have to be interesting and it doesn't require a lot of the students' time and effort, and it should really help to enhance their career prospect as well. To motivate the student to engage in the learning activities, it is important to ensure that there is an ideal learning environment. The physical environment, such as the classroom, have to be comfortable for the student to learn, and how they interact with their peers, how they can connect in the learning activities, and how they interact with the lecturers. Incorporate web-based technology into the learning task will encourage students to engage. Students can submit their work on social media or writing a blog. They can also continue their learning activities at their own time outside the classroom setting, and in which way their engagement can be measured and to determine the quality of their contribution as well. Access to learning is fundamental. Students may access learning from multiple places, so it is therefore essential to ensure that learning resources is accessible from different platforms and learning content is easily accessible. Moving forward, students should be taught about ethical issues such as copyright and plagiarism and cyber safety as they will be accessing learning online. To conclude, student engagement can be measured through the interaction during learning activities, and technology can be integrated to give access for students to access learning.